And welcome to another episode of the DuPage Run and Shoot. As always, I'm your host, Patrick Koto. It is week 5 of the high school football season. How the hell are we already at week 5 of the high school football season? But it's an exciting time to talk some football. We got our buddy Matt on the show. Matt, how you doing?
Doing really good, Pat. Hey, it's fall's here, summer's ending. I'm ready to get into second half of this football season because by God, we've seen so much good football being played already.
Yep. And let's dive into it, shall we? First, let's recap our scores from week 4. First game, not much for a surprise. Naperville Central 56, Stag 7.
Quick, let me put on my shocked face immediately. Just I'm so stunned. I am so stunned.
Good for Central though. They improved to 4-0 with the tough stretch coming up, but they need that for playoffs if they want to make it.
Well, I mean, they're 4-0 right now, unless by just sheer coincidence they end up imitating Wabanzi from last year, which I know you don't want to hear about. I know
I
all
doubt
the
they
Naperville
will.
Central people hearing this or listening to this podcast don't want to hear about that as well. But it's possible. But you know what? They only need to just win one more game to clinch themselves for the playoffs. So
Yep.
I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, no, they'll be fine indeed and stuff. And these games are winnable coming up, but first, Lincoln Way West, which we will touch on soon. Next game, Lincoln Way East, 49. Naperville North, 17. A lot of people are going to say that Lincoln Way East blew them out. No, it was a tale of two halves.
It was. It really was a tale of two halves. I mean, North kept it close. They kept it going, and it was 21-17 at halftime, Lincoln Way East. And, if you're Naperville North, you can't be too upset about this loss because you kept it close. You just really kind of let it slip away in the half. And if anything, you really need to not be like the Chicago Bears and have a great quarterback sitting behind a horrid offensive line, such as the Huskies do right now.
I was going to say, Jacob Bell can only do so much, but if he doesn't have the proper protection,
yes.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it doesn't have the proper protection. And, it's just the same thing with, it's just like we saw with the Bears this weekend, Pat. I mean, you and I watched that game. We were just
Yep.
sitting there, just pulling hair out of our head the entire time. Like, what the fuck is the Bears' offensive line doing? They're getting their asses handed them by a Colts D line that, admittedly, is not very good to begin with,
Yeah.
and I honestly, I mean, that's the same with uh the Huskies in the second half there. They weren't able to protect Jacob Bell and let the game slip away from them. But I mean, you can't be too upset because
Nope.
they made it close in the first half.
You could say this is a good loss for Naperville North. I mean, you played, if not one of the best teams, if not the best team in the state of Illinois in Lincoln Way East. So, yeah, I'd
Yeah.
say this is a good loss for North. Hopefully they bounce back, but definitely this game was a learning curve for the Huskies.
Yes, definitely a learning curve. And I mean, nothing to beat themselves up about. They just ran into a buzzsaw, but they'll be learning.
Yep, Jonas Williams and Brody Gish for the Griffins continuing to do their things. I mean, this Griffin offense is just dangerous.
Mm, yeah, they can't mess with the Griffins right there. You cannot gotta really prepare on defense for going up against that offense, especially Brody
Yes.
Grish, because he is just a wrecking ball.
Next one, Lockport 21, Wabanzi Valley 7. Wabanzi Valley lost their
Uh,
quarterback, Josh Shakirski, for the rest of the game. Hopefully he's okay, but Dylan Beacom came to fill in for the Warriors. Not a bad loss. I mean, it was close at halftime, but the Porters got 2 second half touchdowns to seal the deal.
it's close. You got to give them credit because they kept it up. I mean, they lost their starting quarterback for a while, or for the game almost, and they
Yeah,
were not, they could have easily folded and bent over, but they kept fighting. I mean, he looked pretty flashy at times. I mean, he threw a
he
pretty good
did.
touchdown at the back of the end zone. That was a really insane throw.
Oh yeah, what a throw from Dylan Beacom to Josh Tinney. Holy shit.
I think Wabanzi will be okay depending on who they got coming up in their next few weeks, but
These are two good losses for the Warriors.
yeah, these are some learning losses. Obviously, the new coach it's gonna be um you know it's gonna be a little bit of a step for him trying to get himself going. But I think with the Warriors and how he's got them playing right now, you can't put too much on the Warriors.
Next game, Andrew 46, Natia Valley 7. Matt, the only good thing I can say about that game was our awesome sports reporter, Nate Burleson, with the great cinematic warm up shots, only to result a shitty game.
Yeah, if there is a Oscar award nomination for any of the smaller TV stations in the area, I hereby nominate Nate Burleson
Same.
to be the receive the Academy Award for Best Cinematography for his opening shots. Those were a thing of beauty right there.
Exactly. I'm
I
like,
hereby I
the sunset, dude, those were, oh,
Yeah, those were great the way he shot those. I loved it, but that was the only thing to behold from anything involving Naperville that night.
Matthias Kicker had himself an interesting day, though.
Mm,
So he had to play a soccer game prior.
mm, yeah.
The game went to overtime, and the parents like, we gotta get Cameron to football. And coincidentally, he made it to the kickoff.
Wow. That's must have been
Cameron Lies, Latia Valley soccer player, makes it to the football game in time. I was
wow.
actually talking with their coach earlier today. We're doing a story on him and Cade Valek pulling double duty, and he was like, he made it? Because he was supposed to go, but then of course you had the game went
Mm,
to extra time and he had to drive to Tinley Park and he made it.
mm, yeah.
Parents, he was thankful that his parents got him there. He made it. But again, that and Nate's fantastic warm-up shots were the only highlight of the game.
Uh yeah, that was yeah, Jake McLeod, Matias quarterback, had himself a miserable night. 5 interceptions, one return for a pick six. Not good at all. That was uh, Batia is really starting to look like the team that they were last year. These past couple of weeks.
Yeah, and Andrew, well, good win for Andrew.
Yes, good one for Andrew after getting pile driven by Central last weekend.
Yep. Next one, and you were at this game. Bennett 23, St. Viator 16. I'll let you take the floor for this one.
Um, this was another tale of two halves in this game. Bennett really came out strong. I liked what they did in the first half. They were stout on offense. I mean, Ryan Kubaki was slinging it. Martin Radgowski had a okayish night, had a touchdown. He wasn't super, but he wasn't bad running the ball. And I mean, Luke Doyle caught a 79-yard bomb. I mean, there were some head scratching decisions by St. Viator in the first half. And then the second half came along, and you could tell that they were just a different team. I mean, Cooper Komet was playing his tail off in the second half. He was finding, oh God, he was finding all the open receivers. He was doing everything he could with the ball, and it was working out great for him. And I was very first of all, I was worried because it was such a long game, and I was up from like 4 a.m. I kid you not, I was up from 4 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. from Friday to Saturday morning. I was like dead exhausted. And I was thinking to myself, I swear, if this game goes to overtime because Bennett pulled an Atlanta Falcons, going to I was going to run down to the sidelines and just strangle the coach for not coming up with better play calls in the second half. But thankfully, they forced St. Viator to 4th and 13, and I ended up getting out of there at 11 and editing this video in like 2.5 hours. So I was very relieved about that.
Yeah, well, that win for Bennett. That puts them at 4-0 on the year. And this is a much needed 4-0 start because their schedule gets tough
Yeah.
this week.
Yeah. It gets very tough. And honestly, this was a good win for them. I'm not taking anything away because they still did enough to win in the second
Right.
half. But he's uh I don't know. This really doesn't do much confidence for me going up against Mount Carmel this weekend.
Oh, God. I don't think we'll definitely touch on that game soon. But to beat
Yeah.
a good team, you have to play all four
Yeah.
quarters. You have to play all four quarters, and
Yeah, and
Bennett did
they
not do that against St. Viator.
no, they played about two and a half good
Up
quarters.
23 to nothing, and you almost blow it. Like, guys, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah. They played about two and a half good quarters on Friday. So they need to keep it up.
Yep. Next game, York 42, OPRF 21. Not much of a surprise. York got off to a 35-7 lead. Just keep doing your thing, York.
Yeah, just keep doing your thing. I mean, they're looking pretty flashy again. They're top 10 rankings, so they're gonna keep it going.
Next one, Downers Grove North 54, Proviso West 0. DGN's gonna DGN.
Yeah, they DGN'd all right. They DGN'd on Friday night.
Yep.
54-0. I'm surprised it wasn't 42 nothing again with how they've been winning all their games to start the year.
Well, they're like, hey, let's get a 50 burger now.
They decided to put an extra stack on it. That's what they did.
Yep.
That's what they did.
Next one, Downers Grove South 18, Willowbrook 16. Defense had its moments.
Honestly, defense came to play in this one here. I was impressed
They
seeing the
did.
final score on this one here.
Downers South was in a hole down 10-0. The Warriors got an 85-yard touchdown pass from Jabonzi Reed to Jordan Pate to lead 10-0 at halftime. Mustangs, though, go on an 18-0 run to lead 18-10. Dominic West scored a touchdown to make it a 10-6 deficit.
That's
And then, they go
that's
up 18 to
insane,
10.
honestly.
And then the Warriors get a touchdown to make it 18 to 16. Good win for Downers Grove South. A much needed win for the Mustangs. The Mustangs are now 2-2 on the year.
Downers Grove South needed this game so they could not resemble the other Mustang team that we have to cover quite a bit. This was this was this was a pretty good one here for them. So really happy for Downers Grove South here to try and get themselves back in the right direction.
Yep. Next one, Lions Township 24, Glenbard West 7. Hilltoppers are 0-4. The Lions beat Glenbard West for the first time since 2016. It was 10-7
Wow.
Lions at the half, and then Danny Carroll scored a touchdown to make it 17-7, and then Travis Stam had a pick six to seal the win.
Honestly, Lions Township, this is much needed for them as well. They needed this.
Exactly. Big win for the Lions. Another team with a big win. Hinsdale Central
Mm.
56, Morton 0. Devils at 2-2 now.
Yeah. Hinsdale Central, again, another team that needed a much needed victory. And this was a pretty symbolic win, in my opinion. So, this is what happens. You don't talk smack, you just keep playing the game and you'll be fine.
That's really going to live rent free in your head, isn't it?
I mean, it's just how, I mean, just from talking to other people at Naperville Central, it's just kind of the thing if they make the playoffs and Hinsdale Central's there, it's going to end badly for the Red Devils.
Yep. Next one. Big one. Addison Trail 28, Hinsdale South 21.
Wow. This did not go either way that any of us predict that either of us
No,
predicted.
but that just shows you how tough that conference is, whether it's the gold or silver division.
Yeah, no, it just shows you how good it is. And Addison Trail, they did not have a good game last weekend, and this past weekend they were pretty good, if I do say so myself.
Addison Trail with payback
Especially,
on Hinsdale South because Addison Trail lost to Hinsdale South last year 24-0. The script was flipped this year. And
yeah,
it's
the
funny too. The
IHS.
Blazers, the Blazers were trailing 21-14, and then they scored the next 14 to win it.
Ah, that's hey, the script writers took pity on them. The IHSA football script writers took severe pity on them, and they flipped the script there in the second half. It's just too bad they can't flip the script for us Bears fans in terms of what we have to endure with this team.
Yes. But good win for Addison Trail, though. They needed that.
Yeah, they absolutely needed that win.
Next one. Big win for this team. Wheaton South, 31. Glenbar North, 0.
Wheaton South needed to do what they needed to do and just took care of business.
Amari Williams with 3 touchdowns in the game. He had a 71-yard touchdown on the opening drive. Braden Harry nailed a 42-yard field goal. Kirby Christensen got a fumble recovery, and Zach Rogers had an interception. So, big win for that Tiger team.
Yeah, big win for them. Big win.
Another big win. Wheaton North, 27. St. Charles East, 19.
There's the win. There's the win team I was hoping to cover that I jumped a little bit too early on.
Hey,
Yeah,
the Saints were giving the Falcons some hell. They had a 19-7 lead.
and again, what has been the strength of this Wien North team? They've come back and they've scored 20 unanswered right there. I mean, and they did it pretty convincingly. It wasn't like one of those last second pull-offs they
Nope.
had to. This was pretty convincing here. So they start off sluggish. They have a rough start to each game, but in 3 of them, they've ended it very nicely. So, I mean,
Yep.
you can't ever count this team out when they're down by double digits.
Exactly, but you got to give credit to St. Charles East. This team's been a punching bag lately, and now they're hanging with these teams and stuff. Like St. Charles East, they're not a team to sleep on and stuff for the coming years. I mean, last year, taking a look at St. Charles East, they were 1-8. They were getting destroyed in a lot of these games. Like they lost 35-14 to the Falcons. This year they
And they're
lost
hanging with them
by this year they lost by 1 possession.
after
Like
being
you
up
look,
by 12 on them.
yeah, and you look at their schedule. I mean, they Lost to Lincoln Way Central, but still put up 40. They hung with Wheaton Academy. They beat Glenbard North. They hung with Wheaton North. Don't sleep on this
Mm,
Fighting Saints team.
no, nope,
They are a
cannot sleep
dangerous
on them.
1-3 team. But yeah, Xander Salazar had 2 touchdowns, including a 63-yard run. When the Falcons were trailing, Ryan O'Connor scored a touchdown to make it 19-14. And then Nick Johnson threw a touchdown to Tyler Kading to make it 20-19. And then
Mm.
um, and then the Falcons just kept rolling. Dylan Jung added a touchdown to make it 27-19, and the Falcons just held on from there. So yeah, the Falcons and Saints are two teams not to fuck with this year
No, no, you don't want to mess with them at all this year.
because they're kind of on that fuck around and find out route, despite
Eh,
the Saints who have a 1-3 record. That's a one.
Yeah,
That's a record you shouldn't sleep on though.
no, it's not a record. You can, whenever you play St. Charles East, you cannot sleep. You cannot go into that game thinking, "Ha, we just got ourselves an easy win. They're 1-3." No, no, it doesn't work like that. You
No, no,
actually got
no,
to go
no,
out
no,
there
no,
and
no, 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 no.
play
Yeah,
them.
no. This is a dangerous St. Charles East team. They got some really good youth. Their sophomore team last year won the Duquesne Conference.
And you got a lot of those sophomores on the varsity team this year. So I mean, sky's the limit for St. Charles East in the coming years.
Exactly. Next one, Geneva 63, Lake Park 13. Oh boy. Oh
Uh,
boy.
yeah, Geneva. Yeah, Geneva's just they're another. That's another powerhouse team right there that you can. You're just walking right into a buzzsaw right there.
Yep.
And the Lancers. Sorry, you had some good games, but not that one. Not that one at all.
No. Guess how many touchdowns Anthony Chihino threw for the Vikings?
He threw all of their touchdowns, didn't he? Five.
Threw
Okay,
five
not as.
touchdowns, three of them to Georgia commit Taylor Taylor.
Hey, that's why he's a Georgia commit. He's gonna
Yep.
be balling out there.
He's a great athlete, dude. Holy shit.
He's gonna make a name for himself there. Just don't get into any dangerous car accidents, dude. You'll be fine. Just don't do
Yes.
anything stupid with cars.
Yes. Yes. Next one, Glenbard East, 65, Elmwood Park 13. Big win for the Rams.
Yeah, this is what the Rams needed to do right there. Glenbard East needed a victory like this to get themselves going. This
Yep.
is a big one.
Bartlett picks up win number one with a 27-6 win over Streamwood.
Hey, kudos to Bartlett. They played a solid game. All four phases right there. All three phases right there.
Yep.
Uh, Now they're in the win column.
Next one, West Chicago gets back in the win column with a 43-35 win over Ridgewood. West Chicago did another heavy dose of the running game. Quarterback Carter Naranjo, quarterback, had 232 rushing yards, 335 total yards, and 4 total touchdowns.
Man's out here looking like Lamar Jackson or Michael Vick. I mean, he's man's just putting them down right there, and that's what Chicago needs to do right there to just stick to the run game.
And he's only a junior.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, and he's got another year to keep proving himself, and I think he will. I think with what we saw there, he'll keep proving himself.
The game was tied at 27, and the Wildcats scored the next 16 points to secure their 43-35 win. Much needed win for West Chicago after that tough loss to Glenbard South.
Yeah, this was much needed for them. This was absolutely much needed for them.
Speaking of Glenbard South, they beat Fenton 49-6.
Uh, eh, hey, I mean, again, I- this is another team here that had a pretty solid victory over another team here that hasn't
That's
really done
so
a whole lot this season.
yeah. Well, Fenton they're slowly on the rise, but this is a good loss for the Bison.
Slowly. I'm not going to put too much on them. It's not like they got completely blown out.
Right. But hey, no, big win for Glenbard South. They are now 3-1. And taking a look at that conference, I mean, they're 3-1. The Rams are 3-1. Ridgewood's 3-1. Benton's 3-1. West Chicago's 3-1. That Upstate 8 East. Oh boy.
Oh, it's gonna be a frisky fight for that title right there, for that
Yep.
conference title.
Yep. The Upstate 8 East. It's a battle right now. Next one, Nazareth Academy, 33, IC 0. Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that's all we can say right there. Just
Yep.
wow. Nazareth Academy moving to top five rankings. They're ranked number five right now. So good win for them.
Yep. Next one, St. Rita, 31, St. Francis, 13.
Yeah, the battle of ranked schools right here. St. Francis had a good year, but I think this is their first loss of the season, if I'm looking at it correctly.
I believe
Yeah,
so.
this, yeah, I mean, they just ran into a better team. I
They
mean,
did
it's
run to
not,
their team. They were too hungover from the Loyola win.
yeah, a little bit too hungover from that and kind of came sleepwalking into this one. But I
Oh yeah,
mean,
especially when they were down 17-0 to the another Mustang squad. A lot of Mustang teams.
we keep having all these Mustang teams popping up all over the place here. We need a good Mustang team at some point in time. And
Yep.
St. Rita's going to be that Mustang team, I think.
A good win for St. Rita. That's a huge win right there, especially with how, especially with that tough conference they play in, the Chicago Catholic League.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's just whew, that
Mm.
conference is just completely loaded and stuff.
Yeah, that conference can never cut out that conference right there. They're going to be a handful for a while.
Yep, St. Rita is 3-1 right now. 3-1 St. Rita.
Mm.
Next one. This is your favorite. Fenwick 14, Montini 10.
This was a Friday night rivalry game here. I saw on social media these two teams going at it in pregame warmups right here. They were jawing at each other and this was some good hard-nosed defensive football right here. This was two teams that really don't like each other.
Exactly. Montini takes a 7-0 lead, and then the Friars score 14 straight to take it back. I mean,
Yeah. Again, duel of two halves right there, it seems like.
exactly. Well, it's so far the theme of the show, Matt, a tale of two halves, because our next game was also a tale of two halves. Wheaton Academy, 42. Chicago Hope Academy, 14. The game was tied at 14 at the half.
Oh God. Tied at 14 at the half. Yikes.
And then Wheaton
It's
Academy scores the next 28.
Yep. Yep. That's yeah, a lot of Tale of Two Halves games here this past weekend. This was one of them right there. I just don't know what
Exactly. A
happened
lot
to
of
them in
good,
that
lot of
second
good ones.
half.
Hey, that's the game of football, though. You love seeing a good tale of two halves.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you want to see
Yep.
happen.
Next one, Coal City, Lyle, 0. Yeah, not much of a surprise.
Uh no. No. Next game, please.
Yeah, next game. Oh God, this was we'll just make it nice and quick. Fieldcrest 54, Westmont 0. Yeah, next.
Yep. Next one. Next one. Give me next one.
Next one. Next one. This next one right here. A tale of two halves. Batavia 45, St. Charles North 21. The North Stars had a 14 to
Ah,
3. The North Stars had a 14 to 3 lead at the half.
oh, you had them. You had them right there, and you let it slip.
And the North Stars were beating Batavia at their place. 14 to 3 on Batavia's home turf. And then
You
all of a
have
And then all of a sudden, Noah Whitwell was released from his cage and scored 5 second half touchdowns, 248 rushing yards.
oh my God. You had them on the ropes right there. What are you doing?
St. Charles North did start the second half leading 21-17. So they were hanging with them, and then boom,
Uh,
boom, 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 boom. The Bulldogs were off to the races.
yeah, they were running off to the races right there. They were chasing after that star and they caught up to it and they shredded it in the second half.
Yep. North Stars are fine though. You played a really good Batavia team.
Yeah, really good Batavia team. I'll give you credit. You kept it close. You hung with them on the road, no less, but still, you got to finish them off when you get the
Yeah, but it's
opportunity.
always tough playing at Batavia. Joel Holman had a touchdown offense and defense, but yeah, man, the North Stars, I mean, they're fine.
Man, they'll be fine. They'll be okay.
Yeah, it's just that Batavia is a strong team.
Yep, exactly.
Our next game for our I say games of the week. Quincy 43, Moline 21. Devils scored Blue Devils scored 36 points in the first half. I think that's all I need to know.
Yeah, that's basically all you needed to know right there. This game wasn't the score may be deceiving here to some viewers. Yeah, I mean this Devils team is legit. I'm just upset because we could have had history tonight. The White Sox could have set the single season loss record, and they had to give us the middle finger on that one tonight.
Not two nights in a
And
row.
Dick punched us right in the groin again. We wanted history. They can't even lose, right?
Yes. Yes, but yeah, no, this Blue Devils team this is a really scary offense right now. I wouldn't sleep on them in 7A, dude.
No, nor would I. Nor would I.
Yes, they love passing. Next one.
Mm.
Quincy Notre Dame, 37, Sacred Heart Griffin, 7. Okay, this game did not go as well as we thought it would.
No, nope, nope. Notre Dame acted like their college counterparts whenever they play up soft opponents and just absolutely shredded them.
Well, there's too many Notre Dame high schools around
That's
here.
exactly what happened.
And Quincy Notre Dame, yeah, that's the Quincy Notre Dame came to play.
Yes, yes, they did.
All right, Matt, let's move on to week 5. Our DuPage games of
Oh
the
yeah,
week.
let's do it.
First one, big one tomorrow night. Lincoln Way West versus Naperville Central.
Big one here. What's Lincoln Way West's record going in this
3 and
one?
1. They're coming off a 6-point loss to Sandburg.
This is gonna be a close one here. This is gonna be a
Yeah,
close one.
I'm expecting it to be close as
Um,
well.
because they're playing at home, and because I've been liking, yeah, because I've been seeing a lot of progression with Sebastian Hayes lately. I know he's been beating up on some weak teams, but he's he's getting better. He's getting that,
Oh yeah.
that familiarity back in the pocket with throwing the ball and, taking hits and stuff and averting pressure. Um, I think the Red Hawks with the home advantage are just going to pull off a close one here. I'm going to go 30.
It's gonna be a one score game, dude.
I'm going, and that's why I'm predicting 30-24 final score in favor of Naperville Central.
Okay, okay, I like that. That's a fair pick.
hmm
Next one, another big one. Naperville North goes to Lockport.
I did cover this Lockport team a couple weeks ago. You gotta be aware of that ground game. Uh, I mean, when the quarterback's a great rusher. Uh, he
But
is
Tyler Pospisil,
Tyler Pospisil. He's just popping it off right there. He's just popping dudes left and right all over the field. I think it just depends uh who has the better protection in this game. I think that's honestly the Porters. I mean, I like Jacob Bell, but I don't really know with how that line has been playing as of late. I'm not sure how they'd be able to defend him against that Lockport defense. But again, I
yeah,
think this is going to be a close game.
it will be close, but I see Lockport taking the win.
So do I. 23-20 final score.
Ooh, I like that pick.
hmm
Next one. Oh boy. Oh boy. Bennett Academy takes on Mount Carmel.
Um,
Bennett's 4-0, but
they could have been. they could have been 3-1 after it had they had that second half gotten more away from them last Friday. Um, I'm going Mount Carmel on this one. Sorry, Red
Yeah,
Wings.
I have to.
I know you're feeling the copium right now going through you with being at 4-0, but your record's somewhat inflated.
You're playing you're playing the top team in 7A in Mount Carmel.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. That's not
We'll
a tough, that's not an easy ask.
Nope, we'll see how it goes. Next one, York versus Hinsdale Central.
Um, I gotta go York on this one.
I
I
got to
think
go
York
York as well, but I see it being close early on, but then York pulls away.
I agree with that. I fully agree with that.
Next one, Wheaton North versus Batavia.
Um, the Falcons, they've had some close wins this year. That's not gonna
But
happen.
you're no, I see Batavia taking this one.
Yeah, not this week. Not against Batavia. You're not going to have a close. You're not going to have a big come from behind win. I doubt that. If that happens, I will stand up here. I will buy myself. I will come on the show next week and buy myself a big L cap. It will match the first letter of my last name very nicely here. And I will sit up here and I will take that loss. Just and anybody out there who's seen the show that is offended by my picks, you have the reign to call me loser Bach if that happens.
And that is Matt Lauterbach, everyone. If you see him, throw batteries at him.
Yeah, just I honestly I'm surprised I haven't been thrown batteries or a bunch of battery acid at me to begin with, anyways.
But if you see him, folks, throw batteries at him. I'm sure you all have your batteries ready for me too.
Any of you White Sox fans out there who don't like me yapping at your team and upset about you guys winning tonight, yeah, just load up the batteries next time you see me.
Next one, Wheaton South versus St. Charles North.
Mm. Ah, I'm honestly, you know what? I
This is a
liked what I
tough
saw
one.
from the North Stars on the other night. I know they didn't end the game off the way they should have, but they kept it close against Batavia. I'm gonna go them.
They did. I like your pick, Matt. Last year, these two teams faced off. Wheaton South
Mm,
lost in overtime by 7.
mm.
I'm going to take Wheaton South to beat the North Stars.
All right, so we clash on picks here on this one.
Yep. So, hello, North Star fans. If my pick fails, you can throw batteries at me. Next game, Glenbard East
Yeah,
versus
you didn't. I will parade you to St. Charles.
and I'll parade
I will
you.
parade you to St. Charles just to make sure that happens.
Next game, Glenbard East versus Ridgewood. Give me the Rams.
Yeah, give me the Rams on this one. After Ridgewood kind of fell off against West Chicago, give me Rams.
Yep. Next one, IC versus Marist. Oh boy, Marist has come to life.
Maris has come to life, and IC was completely flat last weekend.
Yep.
Did not look like the IC that we knew.
Oh, but Marist is coming off a 1 point loss to Joliet Catholic.
JCA hasn't really been themselves at all this year. They've really been the Hilltoppers really haven't been themselves, but they pull out a close win. But I'm still going to go Marist on this one.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna take Marist to beat IC. I'm in.
Mm,
We bet against Marist earlier, and that completely backfired.
yeah, that backfired spectacularly on both of us.
Yep. Next one, Providence Catholic versus St. Francis.
Is Providence ranked this year? Are they a ranked team?
I don't know. They choked the Falcons in week 1, but
Ish.
Providence Catholic right now is 2-2. They beat Lincoln Way Central, and they're coming off a 14-0 win to Niles Notre Dame. I think St. Francis gets back on track and takes the win. Excuse me.
Yeah, give me the Spartans on this one. I'm going to take the Spartans.
Next one, Marmion versus Montini. Give me the Broncos.
You take the Broncos? Okay, I take the Lions on this one.
You mean the
I take
Cadets?
the Lions. Oh wait, sorry, the Cadets. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Give me the cadet. Actually, hold up. No, I got my teams mixed up. I'm sorry. I completely got my teams mixed up here. I'm going the Broncos. Broncos country. Let's ride.
Love that pick, Matt. Now to our IHSA games of the week. First one, the battle of the evil, the most deadly, a defensive coach's nightmare. The triple option. Cary Grove versus Prairie Ridge. Two 4-0 teams battling for first place in the Fox Valley Conference.
Oh my God. Anybody out there who any where's this game at? Is this at
The game
where's
is
this
at
game?
Prairie Ridge.
They better jack up the ticket prices for any fans that are going to that game.
Cary Grove lost to Prairie Ridge though 21-20 last year. But you know what? Cary Grove bounces back and gets the win.
I agree wholeheartedly with that, especially with how they've been looking this year. Give me Cary Grove.
Yep, the triple option, man. A coach's worst fucking nightmare.
Just depends on how you defend it.
Yep. Next one. Joliet Catholic versus Nazareth Academy.
I'm gonna go Nazareth on this one. Joliet Catholic just has not been their old selves.
No.
I've had friends who did go there that were on the football team, and they're just basking in the glory days at this point.
Yep. I'm going to take Nazareth Academy as well. And if Nazareth loses, we'll be eating shit.
I will. I live right like 10 minutes from
Yes,
JCA,
you
so
do.
I need to just, yeah, I will just go right over there just to show that you picked against them if they end up winning somehow.
Next one. We got ourselves a big battle down south. Edwardsville versus Belleville West. Two 3-1 teams in the Southwestern Conference. But I'm going to take Edwardsville to take down Belleville West.
I'm gonna go Edwardsville too on this one. I've seen a lot from them this year that makes me believe in them for this game.
Yep. Last one. Homewood Flossmoor versus Lincoln Way East. I think defense is going to be optional in this game.
No doubt, especially with how Homewood Flossmoor looked against Nequa. I mean, they ran it up on them last week. So I'm still going to go the Griffins on this one because they may just be the best high school football team in IHSA or currently.
Exactly. All right, Matt. Well, that'll do it for all of our games. Now let's wrap up with our team of the week. Matt, who's your team of the week?
You know what? And we never talked about them. My team of the week is going to be Oswego. They won 70-7 over Joliet Central.
I saw that.
Yeah, they're going to be my team of the week. I covered them first game of the year against Nequa. Really showed out in that one, so I'm going to go with them.
Awesome. Yeah, I like that. I like that pick, Matt. Oswego, this has been a really impressive Oswego team.
Yeah, their defense, they are something to be trifled with.
Yep. I'm gonna go West Chicago. Big bounce
All right.
back win, 3-1 on the year. This is a heavy, 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 heavy running team. Lots of running.
Yeah, heavy emphasis on heavy right there.
There's that word again. Heavy.
Heavy.
Lots of runs.
Just heavy emphasis right there.
Yep. And that wraps up the show. Matt, another awesome episode of the DuPage Run and Shoot. I can't believe we're already at week 5.
Hey, things fly by, man. Time flies when you're having fun. So
Exactly. But we're excited for another week and we're excited for another fun Friday. What game are you at on Friday?
I will be covering Nequa Valley hosting DeKalb. That is a barn burner between two of the worst teams right now this season. If you
Two
want my
bottom
prediction,
feeder teams. Okay.
two bottom feeder teams, but if you want my prediction, I think Nequa Valley will join the win column.
Yeah, I hope so, man. I hope so.
I hope so because I've covered a lot of their games this year. So they should have won week 2 against Manuka, but they had a lot go against them that last drive.
Yeah. Well, thankfully, DeKalb is 0-4 as well, so this could be. I
Yeah,
mean, this is Niqua's favorite. It's a home game. They always play tough at home. Yeah, I hope the Wildcats win as well
I hope so too. So well, we'll see. And you have Naperville Central, obviously.
against
So
Lincoln
that
Way
one
West. I got a good one.
that'll be a good one. I'm sure mines will be a good one, despite it being two bottom feeders. But hey, we love to see a good game.
Everybody, make sure you follow me on my social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. DuPage Run and Shoot on Facebook and Twitter, and don't forget to follow Matt on his social media platforms. He's everywhere.
I- Everywhere, everywhere. You'll see me everywhere, and hopefully my internet connection won't kick me out anywhere else for the remainder of the stream. Just like
And
the Bears' offensive line kicks their team out of chances to win every week.
we saw that on Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, we did.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to another episode of the DuPage Run and Shoot. We will see you next time.